Hello, friends. Wild animals usually prefer not to come across people. But when they find themselves in trouble and have no other choice, animals use all their skills to ask people for help. In today's episode, we'll show you how it happens and what happens when people help them. A shark swam up to a diver off the coast of Florida. Do you think it was planning to attack the man? No. This shark behaved very peacefully, only a little intrusive. The diver examined it carefully and found a large hook in its belly, which was hurting the shark. Surprisingly, it knew that this man would be able to save her from the pain. And this turtle was trying to get away from the shark and literally tried to jump aboard a human vessel. The reptile apparently understood that there was no other way out, but it's very surprising and touching that it came to people for salvation and fortunately found it. This leopard was very thirsty, so it tried to get at least a little water from an iron can and, unfortunately, got stuck in it. The dangerous predator was now looking for salvation, and for some reason, instead of running away somewhere, it decided to patiently wait for people. Local residents didn't leave the poor animal in trouble and helped it. What are people willing to do for their pets? For example, this brave man rushed into the water to get his puppy right out of the jaws of an alligator. He pulled the reptile out of the water and literally pried its teeth open at the last minute. The dog remained safe and sound thanks to its incredibly brave owner. The little boar almost drowned, but they managed to save him. Just look at its happy and grateful face. And these puppies had to be saved from the flood one by one. Fortunately, the evacuation was successful. And here you see how a young deer got stuck on the bars and was panicking. A woman named Chloe, who was jogging at the time, could not remain indifferent. But what could she do? Could she pull the iron bars apart with her bare hands? That is exactly what she did. Perhaps she was in very good physical shape. Only this wasn't the end of the story. A few minutes later, Chloe saw the same deer. It tried to get through the fence again and got stuck for a second time. The woman had to use her superpower again and save the poor guy. And here, a whole team of rescuers was trying to get the cow's head out of the trap. The process was complicated by the fact that they had to simultaneously work on freeing the cow and driving away the aggressive bull. The rescue team had to work hard to help this ram. They had to use the ladder and climb rather high. Fortunately, the ram was rescued and set free. But it didn't run away. The animal didn't just stay, but also approach the people, as if saying thanks to all its rescuers. This pet was attacked by a python, which grabbed the victim, started suffocating it and dragging it under the water. Fortunately, the dog's owner seemed to be real superheroes, who showed great courage fighting off the huge snake to save their dog. And now you see footage of an eagle rescue. It got stuck in some electric cables, and people had to use a helicopter to save it. And here's 3 coyote pups stuck in a football goal. The rescuer had to literally cut them out of the net. This dog got stuck in a tent when it was home alone. The police officer heard the whining and climbed over the fence to free it. The dog was panicking, but as soon as it was free, it rushed into the arms of its rescuer. This shark swam up to the fishing boat when it got entangled in debris. It was rather surprising that the shark came looking for help from a human, and it was even more surprising when the shark waved its tail as if to say thanks. The hedgehog couldn't get out of the jar on its own. Can you imagine how panicked it must have been? But when the man helped it, the animal didn't try to run away and didn't curl up in a ball. It simply stood there and looked at the man curiously. Even snakes deserve mercy sometimes. This anaconda got tangled up in fishing nets, so it had to be rescued by this group of people. And when it was free, the reptile didn't try to hide immediately, but it behaved calmly. and even allowed people to take pictures. And this kangaroo wasn't just grateful to the man for his help, it also grew so attached to him that it didn't want to let him go. The video of the baby kangaroo stretching out its arms and trying to hug the wildlife rescuer with a bucket full of food became viral. Macaques have been known to steal food from tourists, but these monkeys were surprisingly polite. It seems that it was a well-mannered group of monkeys who politely approached people and asked them for water on a hot day, and then calmly accepted the treat. This little dot on the screen is a squirrel. It was running away from a predator and tried to swim across the pond in panic. And when it realized that it couldn't do it, it swam for the boat. The squirrel couldn't have known that people wouldn't hurt it, but it still jumped on board boldly. This duck lost its chick in the drainage system. It just fell down and got stuck. Surprisingly, the bird really did behave as if it was waiting for help from people. It walked around quacking and looking for someone. And its chick did get rescued. Actually, it turned out that there were several chicks down there. The duck was tense watching the rescue, but it didn't do anything to drive the people away. When the chicks were out, the duck calmly followed the cage. To make sure the family was safe, the rescuers let them out in the park near the reservoir. An excavator had to be used to save this elephant. The excavator bucket was used to help the multi-ton animal get out of the pit. And this is what elephant gratitude looks like. A huge adult giraffe fell into a pool. It tried to get out on its own and didn't let people near, but then it calmed down and allowed people to pull it out. The giraffe didn't panic at all and trusted the strangers. A group of people went fishing and noticed a crane stuck on a snag on their way. The bird got entangled in some old fishing gear. Surprisingly, the feathered creature even decided to stay on the ship with its rescuers for a bit. That was probably the bird's way of thanking them for their help. People noticed a dog in a cold river. The animal obviously couldn't swim across it, so the man with a life jacket jumped straight into the cold water. Moreover, the dog was so panicked that it even bit its savior, but the man still managed to pull the dog ashore. Volunteers rescued several owls and released them into the wild, but one of them was unable to stay up in the air and fell into the water. After which it swam for the people, not knowing that they would help it. The white shark got carried away pursuing the seals and ended up on the shore. People didn't stay indifferent and saved the predator. This woman was taking these old boxes to the trash can when she noticed a squirrel drowning in a tank of water. The woman didn't just save the animal, but also warmed it up and then released it. The most amazing thing is that the squirrel didn't forget the woman's kindness and came to visit her for the next few days. And that's all for today, friends. Do you think animals can feel gratitude? Share your thoughts on today's episode in the comments. Hit the like button. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.